Okay, we good now, guys? We should sound okay now. Usually I have to like exit the application and restart it, so if it's good, let me know. What'd you say? You
What did
said
I say?
something? You said something. But, yeah.
Tricking, b-boying. And it's small right now,
What
but
up, Jamie?
Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie just popped in. My
Jamie.
cousin Monica's here and Rach is here.
But yeah, it's so low-key for some reason.
Wait, what's Loki?
Like, I think tricking and b-boying for some reason. Or people are scared to do it. Or they just don't know that it's still around. I don't know.
Tricking and
Why
b-boying?
is it so small? I should ask them. Why do you think it's so small?
It's funny because Jamie talks about that too.
Really?
I think it's not. I don't. My opinion on how things have become, like, yeah, I don't think it's huge, and I think it's always up to the individuals to foster that.
Mm.
And then what goes beyond you guys having skill is you guys having the mindset to foster a community. So, like, for example, some people are just pure skill and for fun for themselves. Fine, that's great. And then you have the ones in the community who want to grow it and will be the ones who open the door to new people who try their best. So, like, my experiences have been like when I teach a class, right, and someone takes my class for the first time, usually I make a really good impression, and then they come around again.
Okay.
Whereas if you take a class and it was terrible and you feel insecure and you didn't get anything out of it, you're like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Some people give up after the first try, but great teachers know how to penetrate and make a good first impression. So then when it comes to parkour and breaking and stuff, right, like that shit sounds hard, and it is, it's very physical. But if a noob is lucky enough to come across someone who's not only dope but has good qualities as a leader or teacher, the kid's gonna stay for sure. It doesn't matter how much, like, because I also see like people who are like, oh no, come on, you can do it. Like, that's not even that enough. You have to be a good guide, and if you can't be like, oh no, like, because when you do that, and I've seen it like with one of my cousins before actually, he has a lot of self-doubt, but he loves parkour and like flipping and on like some level, and then like breaking and stuff, right? But he only ever has motivation when he's around here. But then I've never seen him constantly try to get something ever. He usually just gives up pretty quickly. But I remember just being it was the parkour nights before, and he just kept trying to get, I think it was like a back tuck or something. And it's because like I'm trying to do something, and then I look at him like, oh, okay. 20 minutes later, damn, he's still doing the same thing. I was like, I've never seen him do that before. And it just depends on the environment, depends on if people are giving you pointers and all that kind of stuff, So it takes, besides skill and generating interest, it just takes people who can foster it. So, yeah. And what do we got up here? We got, yeah, I say that all the time. It's up to us, the ones that do it the ones that want to do it for the community. Exactly. So when you have that love, and then you start understanding that being a good mentor or teacher is an important component, that's what, like, I care about being a great teacher. I don't care about being a phenomenal dancer. I care about being a great teacher. I think you need visual skills to pull people in, because no one wants to learn from you if they don't think you're dope. So I've invested so much time into choreography. So then people are like, oh my god, like, that's cool. Like, I want to learn from him. And then you're a great teacher, and it's like, holy shit, So that's how you would, foster that. And then also reaching out, and people do this too, like going to different communities that do have something, just like how you go out to gyms or whatever, and like you make friends, or I don't know how, like, what that's like, but I see that people venture to different communities to bring people back. So I know, like, I forget her name, but he was kicking it with this B-girl chick from RI, I believe, and she came up here. So that's like building that bridge, And then, like, I know Brendan Falsey, he'll go down to RI for the Southside sessions, fostering relationships down there. So, like, stuff like that. And then, like, Sean Bjerka is traveling more because he has people out. So it's like, it's those people that are helping connect the dots and the bridges and stuff.
I see.
Everything takes time though.
What are you trying to foster?
What am I trying to foster?
Yeah, are you trying to foster anything?
I'm trying to foster, well, the notion of like I can. I've been saying this more so tonight because these talks and the process of the stuff that we do, there's so much I can't, and I know where it comes from. You know, it's different for everybody, like whether it's self-doubt because they're beat into a pulp mentally and they just don't have it, or they don't know that building stuff is like, yeah, it takes time. It's not hard. Everything just takes time. So, for example, like I was talking to someone earlier on stream, and they were saying like how, yeah, if I could drop everything, I would just dance. But before we went to that place, he was saying like how I don't see myself as being someone who could do dance full time, but I praise the ones who can do because I F with that. And so then I wanted to get a little closer to like this dance thing, and I was like, I didn't get to it, but like usually when people don't know, if they don't have the knowledge, they're like, oh, then it's not possible. Or they think, okay, well, if I can't do sports forever, so I guess I'm gonna do sports management. And that's not terrible. It's just you're using whatever information you have. And then in my world, I'm like, let me figure out the different tools so that we can continue to do stuff that we want to do for a long time. Because again, someone who doesn't know anything will be like, you can't really make it being a dancer. You have to be a backup dancer. That's an old mentality, right? And like, that's what most people think. Like, you can't make a living off of dance unless you're dancing for like Beyonce or something. But that's like 1 in a million, or you're in a commercial. That's as far as a normal person would go. And then you're like, okay, more new age, so you could teach class. We're seeing dance videos and stuff now. People compete, whatever. But you can only do that until maybe you're 30, 40 years old. Then you start learning about health. Like, okay, you do it for a longer time. And it's like, oh no, you could teach when you're much older. Okay, that's fantastic. And then it's like, oh, now, and then there's the other untapped territory is like making money online through dance, through teaching, through whatever. So it's like when you can open up people's minds to that, then I'm like, oh. So yeah, I'm trying to foster the truth, the process, the I can of things instead of the I can't. And the biggest thing I think is okay, I'm trying to do a lot of shit. Healing, like healing hurts. To get to a place where we feel at peace with ourselves and happy, it's ugly. It's so ugly. But people think that people aren't willing because they don't know. And I know this because I was talking to what's his face, Randy, and I was talking to he mentioned, he was like, what you were able to provide me tonight was like, you showed me like that there is light at the end of the tunnel, but you're also telling me like there is a way to get there, versus like because he's just talking about like pressure and parents and like trying to repay them and like being torn between dance and all that kind of stuff, like all this life shit and working too hard, whatever. And so when I say like healing hurts and like you destroy friendships, you destroy relationships, family, all that stuff, there's damage to be done, but it's not permanent, and it's not hurting people for the sake of hurting people. It's releasing all of the expectations, the compromises, the you not being yourself, like you're releasing those things in order to teach something new. And I don't want to go like super deep into this, but just because I know I can get really deep into it. Just knowing that stuff is important, and people aren't willing to shake things up. People aren't willing to take a step back in order to take like 10 steps forward, because they think that the only way to do things is, let me do my best to not make mistakes, let me try to do everything correctly, let me have a plan, let me not step on too many people's toes, let me keep people happy, let me stay positive. That all sounds great, but it's not ideal because it's not real. Because in order to do that, you have to like move like this instead of being like and then you can charge forward. People aren't like that. They don't know that in order to be happy that you might have to go against what someone else says.
Top rock forward.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Top rock forward. Yeah, so like people don't know those things, so I'm trying to talk about that. And then when I bring people like you or anybody on, everyone's normal and everyone has a process and everyone's going through something. But the thing is, we also don't talk about it. When we think of social media, we see good stuff. We might see some people talking shit and some drama. We might see like someone died or something, and then we see like news. But we don't see people being vulnerable. Like we'll see people being frustrated and being pissed and being angry all the time, right? Shit talking or like if they're mad, but no one's like, yo, like I'm going through this thing, like, and I'm sad and I'm trying to figure stuff. And then it's happening a little more, but it's still not normal to talk about. And then when we post pictures, it's always good pictures. It's not, we're not like sharing depressing shit. And I'm not saying that. And it's because we always want to show the best versions of ourselves because we were taught that way. And so when I post on social media, it's not always positivity. And I don't even, like, I always tell people, I'm like, I'm not positive. Whenever someone tells me that my stuff is positive, I'm like, oh, that's crazy that you think that way. I'm like, I'm just real. I bring out the scary stuff sometimes. It makes me uncomfortable. So just showing more
it's
of human
still
nature.
like looked down upon just a little bit too, like with people, if they post what they're going through or how they're feeling.
Yeah.
It's like
oh, keep that to yourself. Like, why would you
you
post that on
want
social media?
attention,
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering too. It's like I never judged it, but I always questioned it. It's like, is this healthy? Maybe what if someone goes on there and you're not like feeling like stable, and you put your feelings out there, and then now someone comes along and instead of helping you, they
tear you down.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah, I totally get that, and that's just, I don't know. I don't think you have to necessarily go public about your problems on social media. I think you can do whatever you want. My philosophy is just
so it's just that's their outlet, right?
Yeah. So it depends. I think that as long as you have outlets for yourself and your things and you're not ashamed of yourself, I think that's great.
A
like,
place where you can just let it out.
You can just let things out. That's like, at the very least, I wish that everyone has that. At the very least, right?
It doesn't have to be a person. You just some kind of something.
Some people manifest it in different ways, you know, and that's great. You don't have to necessarily fucking tell the whole world your problems. You know, I think like my philosophy behind that, which I've always believed in, but then Gary helped me reinforce it, and so I just put it in easier words. But the whole, like, when you, he always talks about the 8 Mile thing and Eminem, the end scene, right? Yeah. Because it's real. When you imagine you talking shit about yourself, and it's not to put yourself down, but to be like, well, the world's got nothing on me. Like, these are all my problems. I know that they're my problems. So if you, whether you think it about me or you bring it up or you try to use it against me, I've already owned up to them, and everyone knows it. Like, that's empowering, because now you're not ashamed. People walk around being ashamed of shit, or like are afraid to tell people certain things because they don't. And like, I respect that on some level, but the other side is like, but did you, when you can tell the difference when there are people like that and the people who are like, they don't go around talking about it, but if you ask them, they're not gonna hold back because they're not ashamed of it. They're not afraid. You know, it's like, I fucked up 10 years ago, and you know, I've gotten better and this and that. Whereas someone is like, it's fucked up, I don't want to talk about it, like, because I regret it. Like, there's that. That's pain. That's painful. That's poison. And like, that is I think people need to learn how to release. And so when I can bring people on and they start talking about stuff, they're like, what the hell? He's talking about this online. It's like, that's insane. But it brings something out of people to be more comfortable. And I know it works because there are people who would never go on the stream to being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, because they want to step up and have courage, but they get inspired. So all of this that I do comes full circle. Oh, cool. You know, so it's not about getting 10,000 views at once. It's just, it's the slow impacts and reaching those people one at a time.
Whoa, three people.
You did ask me. I'm just trying to help people become more whole. And the simple version is I want to help people become whole. And what that means is to teach them to be self-reliant and to not be in toxic, not set themselves up in toxic, too much compromising relationships. And so all that means is, instead of, for example, you're insecure, you have all these messed up problems, you get in a relationship, it fills you up, they make you feel all these things, but as soon as you strip them away, you still have the same problems. So you never learned anything. You're relying on them. That's unhealthy. When they don't deliver what you want them to deliver, it gets unhealthy. Whereas I'm in the business of, let me teach you to do that for yourself so that you're full, and you don't go looking for that like a lost whatever. And then, because then when you find it and you lose it, you're like, oh God, now I'm like a fucking mess. I'm depressed. I have nothing. I don't feel accepted. I don't feel like no one loves me. Like all that crazy shit. So I'm in it to not tell people what to do. And this is the thing that a lot of people confuse too. Like, I'm not out here telling people what to do. I'm out here being like, hey, did you know? ? So it's like, no, you probably didn't. That's one thing. I'm giving you information that you may or may not know. And then perspective. And then I give you stories of other people. Of Darean, of Jamie, of Joanne. People who have different age groups and different successes. People who went to school, people who didn't go to school. My opinion on like, and then like inserting logic and stuff like that. It's just, I want people to learn how to move from within. I'm not telling people what to do. And I'm so happy when I see it happen, because what happens is in the early stages, when I work with someone who's really going through it, they'll listen to everything I say, usually, right? And they're taking it in. It's almost like I'm telling them what to do. I'm not. I'm just trying to help them. But then eventually, they go through so much shit that they finally figure it out. And so today, it came out of his mouth. I was talking to Kevin because he came over, and he was like, yo, like, I want to talk to you about some stuff. I was like, cool. And he's made a transition months ago. He broke a lot of stuff, and emotional roller coaster of so happy, so depressed, so happy, so depressed, and learning how to let go of things and whatever. And he came today, and then like towards the end of our conversation, he was like, I don't even listen to you anymore. And I was like, and like, that's cool. And so what that means is like, he's not taking direction from me. And in the early stages, he was always coming to me, and that's great. But to see a person who's not complete, like, so say, like, some people like when people come to them, right? And they always do that. And it's like, oh, like, because they make me feel like I have a reason to exist and I feel great about myself. And so they're always coming. It's like a relationship, right? It's constant. So someone who doesn't know any better would always want that, right? But for me, it's to set them off on their own path. So, like, he kept coming to me until it's like, and then I'm giving him what he needs to find his own voice. Not say, oh, so this is what you think you like? I think you should do this. I don't say that. I just say, here's this. As a friend, here's my opinion and what I would like to see, but it doesn't mean I'm right. And then this is probably but whatever it is, it's like you just gotta pick, and we'll just see what happens, you know? Because I'm like, as much as I give good advice, some people don't take it, but they turn out to be better because they go through a hardship or they learn something. And so I just try to teach people to find their own voice so that they don't have to wander asking always for people's opinion. When you know, you don't have to ask anymore. You know, so give people direction. And then on like you know, that's easy between like a friendship between like me and you, but you know, that's always I would say the goal between any relationship, right? Or at least or a nice relationship, a good relationship would be like that. And then what about, you know, that gets a little harder when you I would say you're like in a relationship, like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. I would say that people would struggle with that. Yeah. Every relationship that I saw like they shouldn't have been together. I love saying this too, because now that everyone's broken up, I'm just like, I don't think any of these people should have been together, and they all broke up. Shit. I mean, everyone's still young. That's no, yeah, there's that too. Thing. They don't even know what they want to eat tomorrow. Not some people, actually. Some, yeah, right. Some people are actually older and stuff, and like. But it's understandable. It's like you haven't collected enough perspective, or you know, knowledge. People just want security, bro. It's just security across the board. That's all. Across the board, I think that's what it is too. That security is always nice. You know, security. Then you got stability after that, and you can grow. It makes it easier to grow. Like that. I think stability is a big part of growing. Like that roller coaster. Yeah, just try to stay off the roller coaster. It's gonna make you feel sick. I mean, it depends. You know, so some people say like it makes you feel alive. There's that too. Mong Ryan, how dare you say like that? Roller coasters. Some people live like that. Well. Oh, the relationship thing. 'Cause she's single. Huh. I thought you said that for me. Oh snap. Nah, so like. Oh, so how many people are on here and there? Yeah, so this is Twitch. Twitch is 5. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. No, I mean, like, okay, so look, I'm gonna just set the record, okay, for everybody watching. This is really, 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 really important to people to understand. And I sort of already said this, so I'm gonna go just in depth. Maybe I'll write something, maybe not.
Go for it.
Okay. Shit, I don't know where to start. I think everyone builds really fragile relationships with people because, and it's hard because we're not taught these things. If you were taught this from the beginning, then it would be different, but we're not taught these things. We're kind of just, we come into a family, we stick with it, and then we make friends and whatever. We don't even know who we are. So we must learn to reverse all that stuff and start over. So a lot of relationships in everyone's lives are always filled with a ton of compromise, and they're really fragile, and they're based off of expectations. Almost every single one in our relationships, and that's what causes friction and stress. When you don't have the right mindset, when you achieve a certain level of mindset, you can basically handle anybody. But in general, when it's based off of that, and you are trying to please somebody, and we're human beings, we have the natural tendency to want to please. However, when you are not, if you don't learn what I'm about to say, then it just makes your life harder, because you're never gonna be selfish, and you're always trying to satisfy somebody else. And it's really important that you know that you can't do that until you know what it means to fully satisfy yourself. So that's why it's like the everything always points back at yourself. So the thing that most people aren't willing to do is they're not willing to be extremely selfish and sacrifice everything that they know in order to be reborn, basically. That is worth it. And people aren't, because they're just afraid to lose people. You know, we're never taught to detach. And I talk about that a lot to my students. I'm like, look, guys, you guys are young. Like, you need to learn why you suffer, and it's because we attach. We don't go around here talking about detachment on the daily. You don't take classes on it. None of that stuff. So detachment is really important because it teaches you the other. Like, we're all capable of doing it. So when you can do that for yourself, and you grow into yourself, and you stop caring about what everyone thinks, you're gonna lose mad people. Or you might strengthen some relationships, or you lose people temporarily and they come back, or people try and figure you out because they're willing to deal with you, right? Then you live in a world where you're like, wow, I don't have to compromise anything because I'm just me. And then what happens is, for the people who decide to stay, you're teaching them, like, say the ones who stay but are like, mad at you. You eventually teach them to accept that, wow, that's just how they are. And then new people come into your life and like, wow, I fuck with this person heavy. Because when they see you, you're 100% you. There's zero compromise. And if they decide to be your friend, it's because they got to see all of it, or they're seeing all of it. There's no compromise there. So that's why I like to present all of me from the jump, and I don't wait or hold back or anything like that. I don't need people to like me. I'm just going to be myself because it's easier. And I will just keep doing that, and people who like me will come more into my life, and my life will just consist of people who like me for me, that I don't have to compromise myself to be. Not, I only fuck with Darean because he does this, because he's always there for me. Well, what happens when Darean stops being there for you for a week or for a month? And then it's bad timing. It's like, man, you always said you were going to be there for me, and the one time I really needed you, and then that's it. Why? Because an expectation was set and then timing was off, right? Whereas when you can come into this and you have your own philosophies and you have detachment in place and all this kind of stuff, you start fostering that kind of environment, and you create people with stronger mindsets and all that kind of stuff. And so when I live the way that I live, sure, there are plenty of people that judge me and don't like me and stuff. They don't really affect me like that. But the ones who are in my life really understand and respect the way that I am. And so no one expects me to text them every day. No one expects me to hit them back instantly. So like, there's no expectations of me to be anything but myself. And what helps me make it easier is I share that online. So people are like, oh, okay, like I know like what he's like. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom in figuring out who you are and staying true to that, and then being able to cultivate. And then you can build actual strong relationships after you go through that process that don't have anxiety or expectations and all that kind of stuff. But most people aren't willing to do that. And that's where all the happiness is too. That's the secret that you will never experience until you can fully, and I can stand by that 100%. You can experience happiness through the opposite, but there's just a lot of compromises to be made, and there's anxiety to be had and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying attachment's bad either. You need both. Attachment makes us feel alive, makes us feel human. It gives us the emotions, and we can have bonds and strengths, and we can be happy, we can be mad, we can cry. But then the other side is, now are you at a level where you can detach from those things and not let it control and own you? You can just move and be like, you know, like, I'm gonna get my cry on because I need to let this out, and like, bam, and then be like, all right, like, okay, I'm done crying, like, I'm good, I'm gonna just do my thing, you know. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. I think it's important.
I think it's important too. I think it's pretty important.
Yeah.
Now, that brings up like something that I was listening to, you know, Jordan Peterson.
I don't.
Okay, well, it was a question I always had, and it was like, there's this question, and it was like, I was going through a dance and just trying to balance everything and having a busy schedule. I was like, this is a struggle.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? You know, are these things I even want? Because I started to struggle. I hate the word struggle. I wish there was a better word to put it, to say it. It's weird.
Okay.
Struggle, obstacles, but in a way, it's like a lesson to be learned too.
Okay.
A test.
Okay.
Somewhat, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, is life about not struggling? Is that what we're trying to do? Or is it finding something worth struggling for?
Oh, okay.
Right, and that really fucked me up, you know. It's like, damn, if I don't want to struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, but I want to level up. I want all these things that are, you know, quote unquote, like special.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, let's, for example, like an air flare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or like shoes on a sneaker drop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you get these special things by not struggling?
Mm-hmm.
But there's some people that are born. I had a conversation where one of my friends said some people are just born into it like that, and I was wondering, do they have different struggles? Like,
yeah, they do.
They want other things, and while we want what they want, right? I see. Right. So yeah, that's the whole thing. And I came to is like what I came to is like, all right, I'm gonna go to my moral compass. My moral compass says, go to find something worth struggling for.
I see. Interesting.
But as I'm struggling, it's like I want to just drop all this shit. I haven't dropped anything yet.
Conflict.
Yeah, I haven't dropped anything, and I keep struggling. And as I struggle, for example, with the air flares, I struggled with those, and now I have them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, So now looking like at the challenge now, I'm trying to, let's say, formulate an answer to it without, like you say, like giving direction, but trying to show people both sides to it. And then like that way they can figure out something, if something is worth struggling for. You get what I'm saying? And then that's something, when you talked about all that and you brought up that thing that I've been questioning myself for a while and trying to formulate an answer to without trying to influence people. Like, this is, don't copy me.
Yeah.
But if it resonates, you know, you feel like it.
I see.
You know?
What's interesting is I've never heard someone say, I think I've heard the saying, maybe, but I've never talked to someone and they've said finding something worth struggling for or not struggling. No one's ever said that. So what's interesting is that's never crossed my mind. I'm happy as fuck. I struggle, but I don't see it as a struggle. So before I get into that, why the air flare? What's so special about an air flare? Why do you want an air flare? Or why did you think you want it?
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was gonna be a struggle.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
and it was gonna challenge me. It was gonna put me through a struggle. It was gonna challenge me. It's something that not everyone can do, and if I really love this breaking or dance or whatever this is, I don't even know if can be called breaking or dance, because I feel like it's so much more for some reason. But whatever it was, I was gonna commit, and this is gonna test if I'm gonna stay committed. It's gonna test if I stay committed and if I really love this. And for me, love would conquer all the insecurities, the struggles. You know, I was gonna test love too. That's what I wanted to test too.
That's super fair. I like that. I do that too.
So I wanted to test this word love, and it was like, let's see if I love dance, you know, and or whatever it was called. I kept calling it dance because that's the best way I can refer it. But in my heart, in my mind, it's something bigger, but I just can't articulate it as of right now, because it's just a feeling. It's not something that I know yet. What it is. But it tested me, and then I got him, and I said, "Fuck this!" No, I just kidding.
Fuck this.
I got them, and it was rewarding in a way, very rewarding. But then I had to look back at a lot of things that I sacrificed.
I see.
You know, and it was a lot of time, a lot of energy, not being there for certain family members, things like that, or friends, jobs sometimes, you know.
Understood.
Because you put everything into it. And that's everything. And what I really appreciate is the family that stuck around, and seeing me become a maniac and going through all this and not sleeping and not even being able to get up and walk and crawl up the stairs and sit in the showers for 2 hours.
That's ridiculous.
You know, you can't move. With the salt, you got the salt and everything. Fucking Jamie put me on the salt. I don't think it works, man. I don't think it works. Ice works.
Ice is proven to work for sure. Okay, that's beautiful. I think the biggest thing out of all that really struck a chord for me, that can really justify stuff, is testing your love for it. I think that's the one that stood out the most, because I'm trying to understand when you choose finding something to struggle. I never think about that. Like, just doesn't cross my mind. I'm like, I want to do this, I'm gonna do it. Like, that's all I think about. So when you said that struggling thing, that was interesting. And then, you know, the struggle, the challenge, sure, I believe in challenge. I never think about struggle. But I love it. I love it is something I've practiced. I'm like, let me try this. I'm like, I think I like to really talk and have conversations. So when I tested it, I was like, I'm gonna do a podcast for like, it was like 8 hours straight or something like that. Right? That was my first time doing it. I was like, let me set this all up, and I was like, okay, let's go. When it was all done, I was like, damn, it's done. I was like, and I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I like this. I can do this. And then with the writing, same thing. I know I love blogging because I've done it so much. I'm like, yes, this feels good, which is why I like go off on my stories too, because I love writing when it comes to me. And then making videos, and I was like, yeah, this is fun. I enjoy this. And then doing the stream, test for the first month. I was like, and I'm still doing it. I'm like, I enjoy it. So I was like, yes, I test my love for things too. And so, but they all come from a place of like, oh, I think I'm supposed to do this. And so when I do it and I'm correct, I'm like, oh, I do love it. And so I keep going. But I definitely don't think about the struggle. I just think I accept and I understand that everything takes time and work. And then I was going to tap into 2 different things. So maybe I'm just going to change your perspective on struggle and no struggle.
It's just the word struggle. I don't feel like it's the right word to describe it.
Like just like obstacles.
And people say the process, but the process doesn't show that sometimes it's a struggle.
It's
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Trust the process makes it sound a little too positive.
Like training?
Training sounds too...
Because like you're working at it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, whatever the word is. Okay. Oh, okay, my psychic told me that I wouldn't have any struggles, and I was like, I feel you, because I don't feel like I'm gonna have them either. And and it's not just like some random shit. It's actually when I reached the place that I felt peaceful finally, and I still feel that way. It's almost been a year now, which is fucking crazy to say. Once it hit sometime in February, I would have been this level of happy and peace for a year, which is really fire. So I went to the dude, and I got all positive stuff, and I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Like I feel like I'm on my shit. I don't sense any struggles either, and the reason is, so it's an acceptance. So accepting the truth. The truth means the truth of all truths, not, oh, how could this happen, or I can't believe this. Like I'm not that person. I'm like, people die, people get addicted to drugs. Bad things can happen to me. Bad things can happen to anybody. That's an acceptance of the reality that we live in. So I'm never going to be in denial when something goes wrong or goes bad. That acceptance in itself has helped me a lot, right? Mixed with a whole bunch of other things, knowing like, oh, hard work, things take a long time. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be big. Like, it's going to take me a long time. Like, the anxiety's gone. I ain't trying to impress anybody. I don't care about what my parents think. I don't care about shit. I'm just like, I'm free. Like, I'm good. And so with that, the only thing that really stands is like, let's see. I need money. I gotta eat. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to do what I love full time one day. And it's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to put mad hours. That's literally how my mind works. And so everything else that comes into play, it doesn't do anything to me. There's no struggle per se. It's just an acceptance of the reality that if we want to achieve something, we put in time. So I'm never like, oh, nothing's hard. It just takes time. I think like if you, for example, like if I'm working out and I'm dying, I'm like, this isn't hard. It just takes time. Like it hurts a little bit, but it's not hard. Like nothing's hard. It's just you just keep going until you can't go. But I'm saying that in like a workout sense. I'm still very logical, and I don't try to fucking destroy myself and not have and be stuck in a thing for 2 hours and not be able to climb stairs. I don't do that to myself because I do have certain priorities, and that's good health is like the first thing. Like, because I understand that if I'm not in good health, I won't be able to have this stream with you. Because when I'm tired, like when I was yesterday, I fucking hate being sleepy. I just can't perform well. And that's everyone. Everyone's lounging around being tired with a fucking half brains. They can't learn shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember when I couldn't... I don't know if you noticed.
No, yeah, you were like high.
Well, not that high. But that part. No, not that. But like over, like, let's say last year, summer, stuff like that.
Okay.
I was working all crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't even like finish sentences. I was just like, I give up. Whatever. I would just be talking. Yeah. Peace. But now I can sit there and like have a conversation with people. That's usually I'd be like, so I'm like, gotta go.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
I see. Okay. I see. Okay. That's crazy because I felt like that wasn't that long ago, but it was kind of long ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been
some months, like 5, 6, 7 months.
Got some rest, got some sleep. Yeah, health is very important.
Dude, put it first. Put that first, and that's the thing too. It's like you put that first, and everything else gets easy too. And like that's the thing when you prioritize the right stuff, like because you feel good. You don't have low tolerance level. You can think. You can do your job. You can do everything. Like everything goes up higher.
Yeah.
So like get your health in line. It gets easier. Sleep being like, I always talk to you about that. Just get your sleep. Get your sleep in. At least.
Shit's crazy. I got reminded past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, just the sleep's been a little shaky, and I can already feel it. Like, oh, I used to walk around like this.
Yeah.
A year,
right?
Years? Well, it's crazy, but it's something that had to be done, and it didn't feel like a struggle sometimes, but it did because you didn't know that like certain things are like triggers until you go through these things. Because I feel like everything was still so new.
Yeah.
You know, I had to go through it and be like, whoa, okay, this is not healthy. And now that I've went through all those things, now a lot of things that I do now, I ask is it healthy? And that's even good. Relationships with people is like just talking to people is like, or like anything like that. Is this person healthy for me? Are they gonna like ruin the state of mind? Are they gonna like tear at me? Stuff like that, or just things. Not even people, just things in general too. Basketball, like playing too much games or something like that. That thing's been those things I can look back on and I can see, you know, some things. Not everything. It sounds good, but not everything is gonna fit your character. Sometimes, you know, some things you weigh more, but people got all these like you said earlier, they want to attach but not detach and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, but you gotta ask yourself, is it healthy? And then that's what I've been using as of right now to attach and detach from things. Is it healthy?
That's good. I like that. I like you sound like me when I go through, like when something kind of becomes like my focus in terms of how to like improve myself. Basically, I'll focus on like one thing. I'll be like, I'm working on detachment. I'm working on detachment, and like
yeah, like, and I like how you say you're working on it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Some people think like, oh, I got it.
No.
I got it. It's mine. It's holding in there. But no, it's a process.
Yeah.
You know, everyone still make mistakes and stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I love having talks with you. So what's the vision, man? Like, what's going on? What's changed even since we last talked? We kind of just shot the shits and like Twitch and like games. And
yeah, because I was like, whoa, what is all this? But what has changed? Basically, executing.
Okay.
On pretty much those things that I was thinking about while here, let's say growing the community, kind of fostering it type thing, trying to figure out like how can I make use of my time and actually do what I love, but also provide some stability and some security. You know, I don't work a manufacturing job anymore. I try my best to stay away from it, but you know, it is a good net. It's better than nothing. If I needed money, you know, okay, I can go work for a couple months. I can grab like a temp contract for 3 months or something like that. But I'm trying to stay away from that and really stick to the craft and can coach now.
Yeah.
You know, I was a substitute. Now actually staying with these kids for a season. I just completed my first season.
That's dope.
Just started my second one last week.
What's up?
Talked about starting B-boy sessions. That's up in the air. It's actually going to be on the schedule soon.
Fire, bro.
Sundays. It's going to be Sundays. We haven't figured out a time slot yet. The scheduling is still being worked out, but it's going to happen. You know, that...
Damn, I'd like to know because I have...
And then the whole thing with how you said commercial and stuff like that, things you could do with dance, like what an ordinary person would think, and try and think of ways to implement how to do it online. You know, that way I'm not stuck to just coaching. Maybe I just want to coach for free, because I would have done it. Yeah. But I like to help everyone. I like to teach. It's really fun. But you know, we gotta make a living.
Of course.
You gotta make a living.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to make a living like, you know, a struggle, or making a living like, how do I say it? The way I've been doing it, basically, overworking and everything like that. A more healthier way, I should say. Yeah.
Okay.
So a healthier way, and a way that I can also grow my craft.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, all right, so how can I do this online? And I'm still playing with that. You know, I have ideas, sketch ideas and stuff like that. And then just things that I like to do, little fun things. And I recorded a video, if you want to see it.
Yeah, sure.
It's real quick. This is a minute video.
Okay.
Let me see. Where would it be? Here, InstaShot. So I just made a video, little video right here. I don't know what to do with the copyright stuff. I don't know how they feel about that. I don't know if it's streaming, you can put it right, but it's just an instrumental. Can you play instrumentals?
I know that they.
Should I just turn it down? I'll just turn it down. Just watch it.
Okay, yeah.
Just in case. I don't want to tear it down. I don't want to turn down the video. But just little things like this. So, you know, I've been playing around. I set up my little lights and camera and stuff like that. So,
that's dope.
You know, trying to do just anything almost, you know.
Yeah.
We had the conversation about the platform, you know.
Yeah.
Build a platform. I'm like, all right, I'll build a shitload of platforms. Fuck it.
Yeah.
See which one, which one works out. So I'm like, all right, arts and craft, all right, dance, all right, gaming, all right, just fun stuff, just breaking stuff, blowing stuff up. I don't know. but people are they're just doing stuff and they're just having fun doing it, and it looks healthy to me. It looks like it. Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's it. Shit like that.
Okay.
So I've been like just fucking around and just doing things like that, silly things. Not trying to struggle too much or make it feel like a struggle. But that's that coaching, triple front. I did a triple front. Well, into a foam pit. Yeah. That was pretty exciting for me. Spending more time with my son. Spending some time. I put him in a couple of my classes. I put him in my class. He loved it. I wonder if he wants to do it. I think he wants to do it again. I wonder how that's gonna work out because it was like a trial. Gotta text my boss about that. Make sure I'm not stepping on anyone's toes.
Yeah. Okay.
Or something like that. Just want to make sure it's okay. But yeah, that's about it. What else?
Fire.
What else? Let's see. Personal growth, struggles. I struggle like everyone else. Same struggles with everyone. It's how I manage it. I would say I differ from people.
Okay.
Sometimes, like, the way I like to manage it is find a project.
That's fucking fire.
Find a project or something, But even that's hard to do sometimes, even go through your struggles, because it can mess with your head and it throws you into confusion. And even though you're in that mind state where I'm positive, I want to step forward, sometimes you don't know which direction to step forward. And then, that takes time. Some people think it's a struggle. Like, in your perspective, it just takes time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the struggle is patience for some.
Yeah.
But, with insecurity always knocking, it's going to make you want something, you want something after I totally understand that. I get it. And with that, it helps me better understand people, makes me more patient with people.
Nice.
Not a ton, that takes patience too.
Yeah.
That's gonna, as much as you want to practice it, it's not practiced by you just go do something. You have to sit there and wait for it. That's practicing it.
Yeah.
And that right there, fucking is hard.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like I have this gun-ho attitude, like, let's go get it done.
Yup.
And then you can't apply it to everything. You just have to sit there and eat it. Whatever mistake you made, or anything positive too. Sometimes positive things, you gotta wait for those things too. And it's just like, I can't wait for practice, and you have to sit there and you're like, fuck, is it Monday yet? And it's like, things like that. But yeah, I don't know what else.
I was gonna bring up two things. The first one was clothing. Is that still a thing?
That is still a thing. Yes.
Just wondering.
That's still a thing. Definitely. Let's see. My approach to that is keep going till I find something. Like, keep thinking, and the whole approach to that. Find some money. Find a way to test my product without, like, it getting stolen or something like that. It's, like, very scary, but the way that I'm going to approach it now is I'm just going to dump it all out there, and it's not even going to... For me, it's almost like I don't want to make money from it in general. I kind of want to just spread whatever is behind it.
I see.
The message that's going to be behind it, in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's like, you can make a lot of money on it, but what is my impact? Like, can I make an impact on the world? Is it possible to do it this way? And it's like, so I question that. That's what I've been questioning lately. So a lot of, like, things that I've, like, drawn up or wanted to implement kind of went out the window because I keep making new things. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it keeps becoming something different. The more I think about it, the more I sit there, and it's like, it can be more. It can be more. It can be more. But it's not that I'm not acting on it. There's more of finding that direction to keep stepping forward without it being a struggle with it, so it can flow with me a lot easier versus I make a product that everyone likes and I want to sell it, and then if they don't like it, it doesn't sell anymore. I want something that's more like, this is me and it's gonna stay here regardless if people want it or don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
I just want it to be like Darren was here type shit. Yeah, something like that.
That's when I start doing merch. That's literally that. I'm not focused on people. I'm just focused on the message. Yeah. Which is this too. It's like I don't follow any rules when it comes to streaming, really. Like I always tell people when they come on here, I'm like, you're not here to entertain. We're not here to be entertaining. Like we're just here to hang out and talk about what's real. You know what I mean? Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like I'm not crazy data analytical about stuff. Like yes, I have to learn stuff here and there to know the business and how things work, but I'm not anal about it for myself. Because I always tell people like this, I do this for me first, or else I wouldn't do it. It makes me happy. The fact that people see it is important, I think, because it brings in stuff into their life that I feel like can be helpful to them. That's the great part. But do I prey on that? No, I'm doing it for me. And the other thing is, we get to look back and be like, wow. I mean, let me go to his real talk show quick and see the stuff that we used to talk about.
Oh, damn.
Imagine that.
Wow.
10 years, 5 years, whatever, down the line, you're going to look back at your old self because we have this footage.
Wow.
It's going to be fucking weird.
Wonder what it's going to be like from there.
Oh, man. That is going to be crazy when that time comes.
Shout out to Darren. And when would we be looking at this?
When do you think? Give yourself a time so that you never forget. 2000 what? 20 something?
Why wait? Shout out to myself in the morning. Wake up, be positive.
Yo, freaking Jamie, like he listened to his podcast from April, maybe last month, and he was like, "Yo, like it like regrounded him, because he said some things in there that he had forgotten."
Ooh.
Yeah, so just like it's crazy, bro.
Interesting.
And then some people are like, wow, like I'm not even that same person anymore. Like Justin, he was like, I'm not like that anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What am I gonna be like? Jesus. Scary.
Right? I mean, I'm in all of this shit.
So what do you think? Like, do you notice any changes going like from the beginning till now?
Me?
Yeah. That shows on camera. Versus like what you're thinking.
Okay.
But like anything that you can see on camera.
I mean, I haven't looked back or anything, and I don't edit these or anything like that, so I haven't looked back. I'm just hyper aware of the stuff I'm putting out.
Oh, okay.
I definitely like even stuff from like 2017, 2016. It surprises me because I'm like, I thought that way, and not in a bad way of like wiser. Because I thought like I learned so much stuff specifically last year that are like new, but then when I look back like 2016 and stuff, I'm like, oh no, I've been saying that. I just forgot. Yeah, it's weird. I also have like a YouTube video thing I do every year. I only made 2 so far. I made a 25 tips for 25 years and 24 tips. So when I went to the 24 one, I was like, I still believe in that. That's crazy. Or I forgot that I used to push that or whatever. It's funny. Yeah, that'll be dope. Well, amongst all those things, clothing, making stuff for ourselves, the biggest word that came in for me, and this is big for everyone, it just depends on where people are at. And so with you constantly evolving, which is great to see, and mental health improving, and like the work ethic and figuring stuff out and asking yourself important questions, which is amazing because everyone should be doing that. Purpose is the biggest thing. Story time. So I have a friend, I might have said this to you, I don't remember. I have a friend who is fucking handsome as fuck. He has a beautiful wife, and she's amazing. He's a musician, great musician, loves music, loves songwriting. He has a job he loves. He has his own place, he's well off. He has his life set, so they're great. However, yeah, so we were talking once. He came over a while back, and he was talking about his old friends that he used to kick it with, and he doesn't like the old person he used to be. So he's glad that he's the person he is now, because he's like, dude, I wasn't a good person before. And I was like, okay. And so he was able to reconnect or kind of be in contact with old friends and stuff, and like some new guy that he was talking to that joined their team or whatever, they all have money. He's talking about his old friends, like, yo, like when I say my friends are like they're rich, like they're rich, but they're all depressed, right? This new guy, who his life is like falling into shit, whatever, he said that like, hey man, like, you know, I'm doing all this stuff, and like, I don't know, I just feel like maybe I need some romance in my life or something. So then he said to him, while telling me, he said, this is what I said to him, and I'm not bragging or anything, like, you know, I have a beautiful wife, I love my job, I love the music stuff that I'm doing, I have my own place, all that stuff, like, it's all amazing, right? But then he was like, but none of it is enough. Then I was like, what? Right? Because, and the thing is, like, I believe him, because when I hang around them, I'm like, no, I sense it. Like, it's just there. Like, I look at his wife, and I'm like, their relationship, and I'm like, I don't see any ridiculous controlling things. She's so supportive. She comes out to the events. She talks to me. She talks to the homies. So, because I'll look at relationships like that. Like, if it's controlling, if there's any insecurity, I'm like, no, like, it looks super healthy to me. It comes to their place. Like, he's amazing to me. Like, all this stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, okay. And so when he said that, it just threw me off guard. And I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Because I'm like, I have my craft. I love that. And I'm like, I don't have the job of my dreams. I don't have this, I don't have that. But you have all those things. And he was like, purpose. He's like, nothing means anything without purpose. It's like, without purpose, this is all nothing. And then in that moment, I almost felt like time froze, and I just had like a whole minute ride in my brain. And I was like, let me think about it. I started tracing lines, like imaginary lines in my head. And I was like, he's right. And because I was like, yeah, like, you're right. And I'm like, I don't do any of this stuff without purpose or intent. I'm like, I'm not just out here teaching classes to make money. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not out here doing any of this stuff for the sake of doing it. I'm not sitting here tolerating shitty attitudes because it's fun. I'm like, it's all purpose driven. You know, I'm like, everything is purpose driven. I'm like, I do all these things because I believe in a very specific purpose, which gives me all the tools and patience and time and mindset to tackle, to move towards this purpose that I believe in so much. That's why. So everything I do, from taking a call to having to do a fucking Uber thing just to make, like, all that stuff, I'm so patient and I'm ready and I'm good to do it just because it's all purpose driven. I'm not making dances for the sake of making dances. I'm like, why am I dealing with kids? You know, I think about that stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's fun. Like, a lot of the things I'm doing, it's fun, but it's not enough. Like, I'm doing it because I picture this thing every day. I'm moving closer and closer, and I believe that doing these things are going to get me there. And I want to live that purpose all the time, right? So I'm like, oh, fuck. And so, and I remember bringing this up to a handful of people, and like, dude, like, you're fucking for real. And so when I look at other people, when they don't have a purpose and they don't know what they're doing, that's when there's so much guessing. Everyone's guessing. Everyone doesn't know what to do. Everyone's this or this, this or this. And the reason why it's become more clear to me, and then I started asking people who are like in higher consciousness, are above me. I'm like, do you move from intuition? And they're like, yes. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, I just understood. Because I started to learn about intuition, because people like you and me, we challenge ourselves a lot, right? Being out of our comfort zone, sometimes we're going against our intuition. You just have to learn when. And so I used to ignore my intuition because I always pushed to be uncomfortable all the time. Being uncomfortable brings up a different feeling than resonating with intuition. It's very different. But you have to play in the areas and observe yourself to know what feeling is what. So when I asked people who were above me, once I finally recognized it for myself, and I was like, oh, is this like this intuition thing? And the thing was, every time I second guessed my intuition, I was wrong. So whether it was myself, my actions, or relationships with other people, the whole like, oh, I know that relationship's not gonna work out. I'm not in a place to say, and then eventually they all just don't work out. And it's not like sure, a lot of relationships fail and stuff. It's just like, I'm like, oh, that's unhealthy, they shouldn't be together. And eventually, and then it shows, and it's when I talk about, and then when I get to talk to them about the relationship, I was like, yeah, it was fucking terrible. Why are we in the relationship to begin with? And then everyone says, oh, because I have low self-esteem and there's I need security. It always boils down to those two things. Safety blanket, whatever. And I'm like, all right. So when you have purpose, you're tied to something bigger, which is spirit. Some people call it God, whatever. It all kind of just is instinct. So intuition, just think of like your intuition as like a string to your higher self, and your higher self is connected to the universe. And you kind of, that thing already knows what's supposed to happen. And when you're not tapped into it, you're confused. And so you're not aware of any of that stuff. So you're kind of just guessing. But when you're tapped and you have a connection, you don't guess anymore. So then whenever I come across people who guess versus the people who don't, like Gary doesn't guess, he just goes, and it's his philosophy, but it's intuitive. He says it's his intuition. And then I'm like, Angel's like that, my friend Julia's like that, Joanne's like that. And I'm like, and I look up to all of them, I respect them, their energy's great, and they're all successful in their own ways. They also have went through the most hell and have been able to stand by whatever. And I'm like, and they're all intuitive movers. I'm like, I haven't been intuitive. I'm very logical. And I'm like, oh, okay. Moving from intuition feels right. So when you move, so that's why there's no struggle, because you're just going. Because you're going where you're supposed to go. When I say supposed to, it just feels correct, you know. So then that's why I bring it up to you. And it's like, if you're still in a place where you're doing this, then like, are you tapped into what you believe might be your purpose, or do you just feel like you don't know? Because you also say, anytime I also hear, for me they're trigger words. Like, people are like, oh, I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I'm like, I never say that. I'm like, I don't need to keep myself busy. I know what I'm supposed to do. You know, there's always something to do because I'm supposed to do it. Not like, I don't fear like isolation. So like, some people fear isolation, so they gotta keep themselves busy. You know, or like, oh, if I'm not doing anything, then I'm just gonna be lazy. Or if I'm not doing anything, then I feel like there's no point in living. Like that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I'm supposed to do something, and it feels right, and I'm gonna do it. There's no struggle there. You're just being pulled towards where you're supposed to go.
I see. I get it. Mm-hmm. And why is from your perspective, I can see why you see that. Yeah. Because my perspective is to, part of it, yes, to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Part of it, yes, to be a better me. Mm-hmm. So I'm always gonna go against my tuition. My intuition is to go against my own intuition. Okay. Almost in a way. Okay. That would say like a formula that I do use, right? Only because I want to see different perspectives. So one of the purpose is to gather the perspective. So if you get what I mean. So when I say I'm going to get busy or take on a project, they're selective projects. Okay. You know, like air flares. Okay. It's very specific. Mm-hmm. Very, very specific. Clothing is very specific. Mm-hmm. What else? And then, you know, things that I felt like I had to be responsible for, like being a son, mm-hmm. a father, mm-hmm. a brother, mm-hmm. you know, things like that. Or maybe uncle one day. things like that. Mm-hmm. That which is why I pick certain projects, why I choose to go struggle, so that in turn I can come back a better me and I can give it to them.
Yeah, see, I fuck with that. I do that too.
Because I don't think that there's many like role models around, like for us or what I went through with my family and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's kind of my purpose, is to even go and fail in front of people sometimes too, if I have to. That's dope. Okay. You know, and then show them that you can still stand up, even though it's really hard sometimes, but you know, you gotta keep moving forward. And then showing the patience now is come because, you know, as we get older, it gets harder. I feel like younger, it was like, yeah, we can step forward into like the next school day or something. You know, this is a lot different. Yeah. I feel like these are stepping into ideals, and mm-hmm. and you're shaping other people who are watching you. You know, the way they have opinions of you and of the world. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's why it looks like I'm struggling, and I am struggling, mm-hmm. and I choose to struggle mm-hmm. for people to watch my struggle and learn from it.
Yeah, that's dope. Okay. Yeah, I fuck with that.
And that's why on my Instagram you see the messed up air flares, and you watch it grow in a way, and then, you know, all this I learned. Well, whatever this is that I learned, or these techniques, or this approach. Well, I should say, this approach was developed by doing different things. Yeah. If I felt like if I did the same thing, like if I got too good at one video game, I wouldn't I would only be good at that video game.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd play a fighting game and a shooting game and a racing game. But as I did all that, I learned different techniques to make me good at one of the games. Mm-hmm. You know, well, it can. I didn't want it to be like that, mm-hmm. but I figured out that okay, there's different disciplines I can learn from different things, mm-hmm. and so I always try to like, okay, what am I weak at? I'm gonna go and do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then also to prove that you can do it if you put your mind to it.
Exactly, that you can for it.
Yeah,
so I believe
you gotta be all in.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think what's interesting about that, and so this is like a confusing feeling. I'm that person too, and I was more that person before. It's still a core part of who I am, because I believe I just how I view it's different. So I used to be like, if it makes me uncomfortable, I'm doing it, right, all the time. I didn't think about the perspectives of like, you know, having people see and whatnot. Like it was more of just like, I wanted to be able to prove it to myself. Because I want to be a little bitch, right? So like, because if something made me insecure, or I felt weird about it, I don't want that to, because that's like less things you can do. Like if I'm uncomfortable in the cipher, like it's gonna keep coming up if I'm gonna be in this environment. So I'm like, you know, why am I gonna keep feeling that way and get anxiety every time? I'm just trying to figure it out, or being on the stage, or like being in front of people, like whatever that is. I've had my fair share of always trying to conquer shit. The difference between today and before, I see it differently now. So instead of it for myself, for the sake of trying to be comfortable, and trying to grow, I still see the growth part. But what I do see more than that both, I always talk about healing now. Talk about like, oh, maybe it's a trauma from my past that I'm not aware of, and that's why I act this way. So that's something that I want to work on. So now I call it getting triggered, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm getting triggered by something. So like, oh, I'm gonna work on that. So I wanna heal myself. So I'm gonna go to my past and try and fix things up so I can be better. So that then I tie it in the purpose. So I'm like, so then I can better serve you and have more energy and have more time to do the things that I love to do, because I don't want to be held back by a past memory or a trigger. So the reasoning's all different, and the ambition's still the same, but it feels more intuitive. So I still have the feeling of, I get nervous and I'm about to shit my pants, but I feel like I'm supposed to do it. Whereas before, I didn't feel like I was supposed to do it. So I just felt like I was going to shit my pants. And so my most recent example of that was, happened twice. No, okay. I was at the convention, and I always talk about this one because it was super real. I last minute knew that I was going to perform. So I put myself on the roster because I can, because I run the convention. So the day before, I was, or Saturday, and the showcase is on Sunday, I was like, all right, I'm going to do a performance tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do a performance, because I just want to do performance. And so then I taught class, and then I got a note, and it talked about someone wanting to kill themselves. And I was like, what the fuck, right? I'm over here trying to be positive environment, do all this stuff, and still someone has that. And I'm not saying like that's not it's like a real thing, you know what I mean? I can't save everybody or whatever. I can't expect to be so holy that no one's gonna want to kill themselves. But it just kind of took me by surprise. I was like, fuck. So that stuck with me. Posted on Instagram, whatever. I made a post about it. Then the next day I was like, okay, I'm going to performance. I just don't know what. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I just thought about that note, and then I went home. I really didn't want to miss what was going on at the convention, especially of who was talking. I was like, fuck it, I have to do this. Go home. I have all these ideas in my head for songs, a list of songs. I had one that I was like, this is gonna feel good to release. So here's the thing. I already had a feeling in my stomach, because I knew that I had to do this, and I wanted it to be impactful, and not for the sake of being impactful, but I was thinking about that letter, and so the first thing was, if I choose this song, it's going to be great, because this feeling of like really being really uncomfortable and being anxious right now is really uncomfortable. So if I dance to this song, it's going to feel great, because I get to explode and move and fucking kill it, and I'll be comfortable doing it, so it won't terrify me as bad, because I get to release a lot of energy. But then I had all these other songs in mind, and I was like crafting it, and then I started naturally crafting that, and it was more calm and like harder. I can't just explode and move. It was more lyrical, so like I would have to hit, and it was more accents and stuff, and I was like, fuck. And so I was like, I was making the mix for that, and I was like, okay. And then even after I finished all that, it took me forever because I was contemplating so bad. Went back to the venue, they're doing tech rehearsal, whatever, and then it's almost time for the show, and I'm still contemplating. And I'm like listening to music by myself, just going back and forth between the song that I'm just want to go off with and killing it, and then the other thing where I'm kind of just like, right? And so at the end of the day, I chose the one that was harder to do because I felt intuitively that it needed to be said and to be done. But everything in my body was like, this is so scary, bro. Like, that's what it felt like. But it was still intuitive. It was just terrifying. And so that versus being completely uncomfortable, not wanting to do it, but just trying to do it to get over it because it's a challenge and I should do it. They're two different feelings. One, I feel like I'm supposed to do. The other is just a challenge. So, and I learned it in that moment. As time moved on, more so, I was like, oh my God, it's different. Because I was under an impression at one point that, okay, when it's intuitive, it feels right. You should always feel good. You don't. Because sometimes what gets in the way, and it teaches me then, I'm like, oh, I still have a trigger. What is it? And then I'm like, my trigger is I'm about to improv in front of a bunch of people. I have zero choreography. It's a song that's harder for me. And so I'm judging myself because I don't want it to suck. So I was like, there it is. It's like, it's intuitive because I'm supposed to do it, but there's still psychological blocks and I'm judging myself and all this dumb shit that are still traumas of sorts. I still judge myself. Why? So it felt right to do, but it was the scariest thing. So that performance to me is a blur. I have it online, so I've watched it so many times, but I'm like, I don't know what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did it turn out?
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. I just remember people really responding to it well. Because before that, I actually went up and I spoke for 2 minutes about the note and the suicide and how we should try and be more compassionate and all that kind of stuff for 2 minutes. And I was like, oh, I'm penetrating. I could see it. And then I got to performance and I was just like, and then some people told me like they cried. The thing was I didn't make any eye contact with anyone because I didn't want to see it. I just really wanted to stay in the zone and not cry.
I see.
So I just was like, I was seeing past everyone and just trying to be hopeful at some points and whatever. So it's online, and I could just like send it to you, but she was wild. Intuition, but still uncomfortable.
Right.
That is what I follow. So everything's still intuitive, but I still struggle. So, and when I struggle, like, and those are the times where it's like, oh, like, okay, I'm struggling, and like, is this scary? But everything is just the same. What I said earlier about how I perceive my struggles is different. So, but that's when it's the worst, when I get like shaken up and I get anxious. Doesn't happen often, but it still does. Happened recently at a private get together with friends. I didn't expect to dance. Even though I know that every time I'm around these people, I'm probably gonna have to dance. But I was like, motherfuckers. No, I was speaking. I was afraid to speak. I was getting nervous to share, to speak, and I was like, why am I shaking? Why am I doing this? I'm like, motherfucker, fuck. Then I had to dance too, and I was like, fuck. Whatever.
It doesn't feel like a struggle to you, huh?
No. And it
doesn't feel like a struggle to me either. That's why I don't like using the word. I don't like using that word. It's a struggle.
Okay, so then you said like the other thing was like, oh, it was like, why am I doing it? I'm about to just drop it. Like, what's that? Is that because it's hard and like you're like fuck it, or is it like what the hell am I doing this for?
Okay, not of why, but can I keep going at this rate? Is it healthy?
Oh, okay.
There's more of that.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
At this rate, is it healthy? Do I need to take a step back? Am I dying?
Bruh.
Am I still breathing?
Yo, get your sleep. That's like my favorite thing to tell people now. Besides like, because I know like a basic simple health facts that we should all implement. But the first thing is like everyone's pretty bad at sleep. Oh man, just get your sleep. You'll feel great.
Especially with these cell phones.
Yeah. So get your sleep.
How many more likes I get? How many likes I get at 4 a.m.? How many likes I get at 7? How many likes I get at 10?
Look, I look at my shit too. It's for me. I kind of like read it, like a kind of reminder for myself. When I post something, I'll just read it, because I want to really practice and make sure it's true. I do that to myself a lot.
Oh, another good thing. Anyways, keep going. I don't want to.
No, I mean, I'm good. That was it.
Commercial. Shot a commercial.
You did?
Yeah, I was in a commercial.
Where? How? Like Boston Castings or something indie?
I was gonna go to practice at UTech one day, and then I get a message from X about a casting call.
Oh.
I go to the casting call, and it's like an audition. You go in and you do like a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a model walk, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they make you say your name and shit like that, your height, yeah, that's about it. So your height, and your clothing size and stuff like that. Then they take you down, and then they call you if they need you. They called me, and I was like, oh, holy crap. I did not expect that, because I went in the last 20 minutes of it, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, it was one of those things like, let's go give it a try.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's up with this. It's in our backyard. It's in UTech, so let's go check it out.
Yeah.
It wasn't much of a struggle to get there. If it doesn't work out, I go practice.
Yeah.
I was gonna practice anyway, so I went there, and I did it, and then we shot a commercial for this it's called JMB. JA. Let me shop them out, because this is my first commercial paid gig, and they got, it was a fun experience. So, Genevieve, I can't pronounce it right, but I'm fucking it up. But it's pretty much this. This is the place. And my phone died.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because on low battery.
Okay.
Damn it. But it was cool. It was very cool. And we had to shoot in like cold weather, and not act cold and shit like that. That was new.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
That's fine.
I met like another designer. I liked the shirt that he had me wear. But the video's not out yet. The commercial's not out yet. Whatever they're doing with all the footage and stuff like that. I don't know if it's gonna come out or not. But yeah, that was something new.
You can send them over to me, and then I can. Oh, it's like dead, like actually.
It's dead.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Wait, actually, why did the stream shut off? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Did it? What? What? It didn't. We're still going, right? It says it's going. Yeah, Jamie said it's off. There's someone to go on Twitch. I don't know, but I'm still live on Twitch. Yeah, it should still be going, unless it's just his phone or something. Yeah, right? Yeah, we're still going. I was gonna say you could probably show me on here.
But yeah, I started the idea of going the YouTube route. It was like just an idea until I did the commercial thing. I was like, you're trying to fit these things, the criteria, and and then it just made me question. It's like, it's not that it's bad, like, because you're still doing you, but I want to maximize doing me. So I was like, all right, so what's the best way? Well, YouTube kind of doesn't have all the restrictions that like modeling world would have, I would imagine. So I was like, let's say, how can I put it? Someone who's too short for runway.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They can do the commercial. They can go to these auditions, you know, and they can try all these things, or they can put that same effort into making their own content.
Exactly. I'm that guy. I'm very I like building things for myself. Oh, Jamie's back. Jamie's back. I think it's funny that you watch on Facebook and not YouTube. Darean's the man.
So here, this is the designer. It's this guy. He's pretty cool, dude. Look out for his clothing. Oh, shout out to Neil. He's awesome. He's a photographer. He does like portrait meetups and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool. Give him a follow. This is, what is this? This is like another page. They have multiple pages. But yeah, I gave you the main. This guy and this guy is a photographer. And that's the clothing. So I guess stay on the lookout for those. To see a commercial. This guy right here, his name's Todd. He was helping me out that day because I went in there, I didn't know what the hell to do. Yeah. And he was just like, pose like this, and you know, he was very helpful. He was a very helpful person. So he's like a veteran model, I guess you would say. That was pretty cool. Yeah. There's not much content. I don't have much content on it. I think it's all on like, I have it on my Canon on my SD card. So I don't have anything to show today about that. Yeah, stay tuned for a commercial.
Yo, Monica, you requested 2 appointments. Do you want 2 appointments? I love this so much. It makes my life so much easier.
What is this?
This is how I use to book appointments and stuff.
What?
That's pretty easy. Yeah, it's free. I had to do mad research to figure out, and then I settled with this one. It does most of what I needed to do. So, website and whatever. What? It's a box. Oh shit. That's fine.
Yo, shout out to everyone who's been watching. Thank you.
Yeah. You rescheduled.
I don't know why you guys are watching me.
Dude, this is the real stuff. Yeah, I'm surprised too. Not you exactly, because I mean, I'm the person that runs this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, you guys are here for him.
I know Jamie's here for you.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool what he's doing here. Like, yeah. Actually, I can see why you guys are watching. Actually, that's why I'm here too.
Trust, bro. I mean, that's why you're here. You came out of your own will.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know a lot of people weren't fully aware unless they were in it for like the early streams and stuff, but I used to just do like, I release a schedule, but now it's just, if the slot's open, you just go. So it's technically available all year, so I feel like I'm gonna book something for April. You could do that now.
Oh, April?
Yeah.
Wow, you're booked till April?
No, I'm saying if you wanted to. Like, you can go through any month. Before, I would restrict it. And be like, okay. And the reason I did that was just because, for example, like say, imagine halfway through the year I get everything booked, but then if I meet someone and I'm like, hey, like, but then I can't be like, oh, like I have this stream, you should probably book a session with me, but then it's like all packed. I'd rather be like, okay, yeah, like when that thing releases next month, like everyone has a shot.
I see.
Instead of who knows me first and who, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah,
but,
I see.
But time has shown me like, oh, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm probably gonna do that format when I become a bigger deal, because right now I'm not. So I'm just gonna leave it.
It's open and just. I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I do wish I could do like, this a little more.
Like, this is also how Joe Rogan kind of started out. But he was a little more famous than us. Yeah. So, like, you know how you're, like, doing this? It'd be too much. Eventually, they had to get rid of all this and just straight up go. You know what I mean? Me and you, just go. That's what it had to be. They had to get rid of all that. And then they had to get like a guy switching angles, camera angles and stuff. But it was almost like this. So I can see that happening for you, where you just end up having, you kind of just go anyways.
Yeah.
You're just. I think this is a privilege to be able to interact like this.
Yeah.
I think once it gets too big, we're gonna kind of.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the future when it's just like people will be asking mad questions and like this and that.
Trolls, everything.
Yeah. So, but the goal is to really like. I mean, I don't know. I can't really predict because it's always been kind of like this, just like super chill. Or some people just listen. Like the majority of the time,
something. It's gonna get pretty big, dude.
Yeah. It's gonna take its time, and I plan on like being in different areas and how to do this because entertainment to me on like a pure entertainment level, like dance and music and stuff, are stuff that I want to do, and I know that that's gonna bring in new people. Like be like, oh shit, like he does like talks and stuff. Like I want to talk with him, and I'm gonna be on here and meet my people. Like that's what's gonna happen, but that's a long way. So
think so.
Yeah, I'm in this for like I'm like yo, this is gonna, to me
like,
this is gonna be slow. It's gonna be slow.
It's gonna be slow.
Very. Like
okay, why do you think it's gonna be slow?
Because
you're fostering it. Why is it slow?
Balancing it with a real job. A real job. I just said that.
See, it's not easy to do what you're on.
So balancing it with like something that is gonna make me money to survive is always gonna be the main thing. The second thing is that I'm just not a trendy person. I'm smart because I know how to get the numbers if I really want to, but am I going to? Nah, that's not my style.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure I'm doing things I like. I prefer that over any sort of like, well, if you do this, you're probably gonna get like mad views, mad attention, and it's gonna happen, and like, and it's easy if you just pay attention to culture and you jump in fast enough. That's it. Like Fortnite, at the right time. PUBG, same thing. But but did I want to do that? No.
See, that's the thing. I don't feel like exactly what you're doing is not trending, but I feel like it's needed. It's necessary.
Yeah.
So when there's a need, people are you're gonna find it. Once someone finds it, then you're fun. So Tana, what I did next.
So in terms of blowing up, I guess we might be looking at two different things. When I say slow, I mean like I'm thinking about being financially stable.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. So now that I realize, like I don't know what you're thinking. I'm sure this will get
popular.
Like later.
Okay,
this year, I think it'll be popular more. Like this will probably be a little more constant. But probably make like my goal this year is to make like 200 a month.
From this or just
being myself and doing the things I love to do.
That's pretty good.
I think I could do that. My Patreon makes it so that I'm at like around $50. And then my Twitch is at like, if I try, my Twitch can be up way higher, but it's at like 20.
But for Tana, this is a need.
Yeah.
Why is it not way higher?
Because of time.
Why?
Okay. So here's the thing, and I've written about this in the past. Right now, I'm in Plan C. The vision is A. Plan A is gonna be accomplished no matter what. Okay. Plan A is do whatever I want.
Oh, smell. I like that.
Whatever I want.
Plan A, do whatever you want. That's awesome.
Zero friction business. That is very important to me. Do what I want, but zero friction business. Zero friction business. And then, that's what pretty much Plan A, right? So doing whatever I want, travel, make content at my pace and whatever. Cool. One day be able to hire a team to scale. Then you have B, where I'm doing things I like. This is love full time. This is like. So this is I'm doing some of this, but it's not full time. And then I'm doing something that I like, a practical skill, which is social media, branding, consultation, and strategy, and management. So all of those things. So that's B. C is doing this and this and a job. That's where I'm at.
Right.
I can see myself getting here this year. This, I don't know when it's gonna happen. And I like, so what's really gonna determine this is like my entertainment level, because I don't see this stuff getting that big on its own fast enough. I think it'll get there, but music and dance will perpetuate it to the next level, mixed with good marketing. Do I have a marketing budget? I do not. Have I tested marketing? Yes, I have. I've run ads and I'm like, okay. So when you have all those components and you do it properly, you can get here faster, for sure. So I'm here, but I'm so close to getting here.
I see. Yeah, I know what you mean about here. I had to let go too.
Yeah. I'm technically still in C, so I want to be able to move to where I'm just doing content.
And I'm slow here by your definition. I'm slow here, but it's moving with the coaching and stuff like that. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. I had to let go.
I see.
But I had to let go at the right time. I couldn't just. I've let go many times. Many times where I felt like I needed training time or stuff like that.
Yep.
I've made that sacrifice a lot.
Same.
Every time I had to weigh it, I was like, gotta go.
I sacrifice this for this and this a lot, because when I invest in this, it gives me skills to operate here. And the closer I keep doing this, well, the more I invest in this, it taught me things that I could bring over here, so that I could take it to here. So I could push this out of the way. Yeah,
these are all very necessary. You can't, well, you shouldn't, because there's very important things to be learned in all these steps.
So yeah, I'm on C right now, and I can't wait until this job, the social job, which I really enjoy, starts. It's gonna make me, at the very least, very soon, a few $100. I would love that.
That's pretty good.
I'm asking for more than that, but I'm in a place where I know for sure that I'll be able to get a few $100. And that's gonna make me super stoked and make me work harder and try to move it along faster and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I'm just waiting on
this
other place.
Kind of the way that I'm working at it now is it's kind of, I'm working from, well, even though, okay, the way you're putting it is through likes and wants. Mine is more of, it's similar to that, but it kind of starts from up top and trickles down. This seems like it's going up and up. Mine starts here, and then it came here, and now it's making me money. That's kind of how it worked for me. Or maybe it's a full circle. Maybe it goes like this, you know, and it can go back around. Maybe it's more fluid than you thought.
Yeah, I just like to see it this way, and I picked up this philosophy on my own.
That's pretty good,
but
it's making me think, because you just made me think about it. So I'm just, my bad for drawing.
No,
because
okay.
Now I'm drawing more in my head.
That's all good. It's just because, like, you know how we always hear, like, oh,
it's better than no way.
Yeah.
It's better than no way.
Some people don't have a way, and this,
I think it's good. I think it's productive.
I had written about it, and it inspired me because, like, I try to reverse engineer why I'm happy, basically.
What the fuck?
And
why not, right?
Yeah, I think
even if we get like a happy life, we're still gonna find some fucking way to challenge ourselves for some reason. I feel like
it's fun though.
We're gonna look for some purpose.
Yeah.
Either way, everyone's gonna look for a purpose, no matter how rich or poor, right?
Yeah.
So finding a purpose is pretty important, huh?
I just think it's important to talk about it this way because people will have a plan A, and then people say make sure you have a backup plan, and I'm like I think we need to reverse the concept.
I see.
Because A gives you purpose. Once you feel like you failed A and you're done, now you're just moving on and living beneath your potential and you're sad. Whereas A is always at the top and that is what you're working towards and that's what you want and you'll get there. So the psychology is different. Instead of being like, fine, I'm going to go all out or I'm going to try. But usually it's not even go all out. It's I'm going to do this, but I'm going to make sure I have this. So what happens is sometimes people just go for B and then try to go for A later. Usually never happens. Or go for A and I'm going to try to do B, try to do both at the same time. I guess A didn't work out, I'm going to go here. Or I'm going to go full out A, doesn't work out, I'm going to go B. All the time, right? But the thing is, the psychology is wrong. Where it's, have the confidence to know that this is going to happen, please. Especially because of the day that we live in makes my statement more true. In the past, maybe not. But today, there's no way.
I totally get what you're saying.
Okay? So now because of the internet, and that's given us so much power, you should be able to achieve this no matter what, for the most part. And when I say for the most part, I'm talking about like certain things that I guess require certain stuff, like maybe physical features that you can't change, like actually, maybe, right? But the psychology is that I want this and I'm going to get there. How? You reverse engineer. You start. So you're like, now I'm going to go backwards and be like, well, where am I at now? How am I going to get there? Okay, well, I need to maintain myself with a job. I need to learn shit. I need to practice. Then I need to experiment and try and fail until I get to a place where, I'm making some money now. And I may not, it's like, okay, well, in order to be a successful singer, besides singing, what else do I have to do? I probably got to learn how to make a video. Maybe I have to learn how to produce. I got to learn how to write. Am I going to take a music theory class? Whatever, right? So the thing is, you have this crazy pipe dream of wanting to be a singer. And then you imagine all these things that we were taught, like, oh, well, you have to be on a show and you got to make it. You got to get discovered. Reverse engineer. How do you do it? And then you're like, okay, these are all the skills it takes to be a decent singer. So I'm gonna do that. I'm going to live this life, a C life with a job to keep me alive while I try and figure this shit out. And then B is the practical skills that you pick up along the way to make a good singer that can also probably pay you. You're like, okay, now that I've gone to a vocal coach, I've done all this stuff, or I'm YouTubing, whatever. It's the middle here where it's like, oh, now I'm a teacher I teach vocal lessons or I produce music or something. It's not my number one, but it's making me money. I can walk away from my job now and I'm still in the music. I'm in music now. I'm in the music business, but I'm not a full-time singer yet. But at least I do some singing gigs here and there. I write songs for other people. I produce some songs. I make videos. I do collabs, whatever. I'm not doing it full time. I'm doing a whole bunch of little things. I need to know these skills in order to be this. Maybe. I'm just making that up. I don't need to be a producer or anything like that. But like someone like Tori Kelly who like figured it out. So it's like in order for her to be a good singer, she had to learn how to cut and edit videos. She had to learn how to produce music. She had to learn how to write. She had to learn how to do a guitar. And just learn how to work the technical stuff behind it. So you need to build the skill to achieve. So a self-starter that picks up multiple skills to make sure that the singing aspect is successful. But she needs all that in order to make money. You get to this place, now she can just sing. She doesn't need to produce anymore. She can if she wants because she enjoys it. But she's at a place now where her vocal ability and performance and stuff, everyone takes care of everything else. But now she can just sing. She'll learn how to book. She'll learn how to market. She'll learn how to do all this stuff, right? So that's how I see it. You reverse the engineer of the process of how to get there. So in the middle is the part where you pick up a few skills that can make you money doing what you like to do, but not directly. Yeah. Like you want to be a huge, big ass dancer, but what else is in the world of dancing? You can make money. Teaching is always like the easiest way in different ways. Winning competitions. We go to auditions, land commercials, getting sponsorship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different paths. And eventually it's like, well, I just want to be a dancer. and then you could do dance full time without having to teach or whatnot, because you can, because you want to just do dance, you know. Some people, or like, I just want to be a teacher, or I just want to be this, but in order to do that, I also need to support myself this way until I'm so good that I can just do this, basically. So that's why I have that middle of like, the reason why I like, so why
is it one in, well, I'm gonna rephrase that question.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you put, okay, like here and then
love?
Yeah.
Because
why sort it out like that?
So in this middle bubble, in order for me to do this full time, I had to learn how to use this mic. I had to learn the technical aspects, right? But I'm like, I can't just sit here and just be like, oh, we're going to do a stream and do no promotion. I have to learn how to do the flyer stuff. I got to interact with people. I have to build a brand to get people on the show. I have to blast it to get people to watch. I have to educate myself on, okay, how do I make money on this? And I was like, I'm going to choose Twitch because, oh, it's an affiliate program. That's cool. I actually didn't know that until later. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I can actually make money way sooner than I thought. And then like learning about, okay, well, how do people monetize? Oh, Patreon's an option. So it's the middle stuff that's not, okay. So besides that, and then there's like, because I'm learning those things, it goes into marketing. So I'm like, okay, if I wanted to help another business be successful, I'm learning all these different paths. Algorithms are important, pictures, running ads, all that stuff. It's like, those are necessary to make something successful. Now that I'm learning these skills, I can now use what I'm learning and apply it and get hired in a different way. And I like it. I enjoy it, actually. It's not just something that, oh, fuck it. But like, I'm like, oh, I like it because I like seeing results. I like trying stuff and failing and then trying and seeing something work. I like helping people. Beyond mental health, I like building stuff. The idea of building is cool, seeing numbers go up, seeing engagement go up, like, that's fun. So, but do I actually want to sit behind a computer and do it all the time? And like, see, the cool thing is I can move from here to here, because what this will bring me is like, oh, I can travel now. I can do my job from a laptop. But the thing is, I need a laptop, and I need to be on it more than I would like. But I'm grateful because I can travel. I could be anywhere, and my job lives on my laptop. But then the step above that is I don't have to be next to the laptop all the time. I don't have to be like this all the time, because I'll have better gear, and I also will have editors, so then people can edit my shit, and then I don't have to worry about the whole marketing thing, because I'm like, I don't gotta work on marketing, because I just get to talk to people. I get to just make videos and be like, here, can you edit it for me, and then be done, and then make money that way. So that's the reason why this is a like, because I know what I like more. I like interaction. I like experiencing. I like seeing the humanness behind stuff more than being behind a laptop or a computer. But I do enjoy this. It's chill. Yeah. It's fun. But if I had to pick, I would choose easily the other one. How do I know? Because I've edited videos long enough. I've uploaded stuff enough to realize I don't like this part, I don't like that part, I don't like this part. But because it's building towards a bigger purpose, I can do it. Because I'm building towards something. So that's it. But see, in order to become this, I had to learn this. And now I can use this to make money, even though it's not this yet.
Right.
It's that people don't think that way. So I think we need to learn how to think that way. It's kind of like going to school and being like, why am I learning physics? I don't know why I'm learning physics. Okay. But then when you...
I see the parameters a little they're more clear now.
Yeah. Like, you know how, like, it's just like topics in school when we learn general education. We don't know why we're doing it. But then when you see something, like, it's kind of like, it's like taking basic dance classes and never knowing why you have to do it. But until the day you see, like, someone going crazy in a battle or whatever, you're like, whoa, like, I want to do that one day. And then you get to speak to them and you talk to them, you're like, well, this is what you have to learn. They're more willing to learn the basics and the fundamentals to be that thing that they saw. You have to get inspired to be something first. Then you're like, hey, how did you become that? Or what did you do? You're reverse engineer, like, well, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. But if you just say, like, well, like, we don't know why we're learning math, but I think someone might care to learn math more when they realize, like, oh, like, how do you do this? Like, I don't know, coding. Like, you probably don't need to know math for coding, like coding job. It's like, oh, well, I had to learn geometry and algebra. Now they're going to be like, okay, I have a drive to learn that stuff now because I want to know how to do this. That's what we don't do in our, that's why it's backwards. That's what I'm saying. We're not giving people things to work towards. We're kind of just.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
There was that feeling of sense of that.
Why am I doing
during
this?
Graduation? Not of why am I doing this, just I didn't feel like they presented or not presented, but there are other options, right?
Of course.
But it wasn't. It felt like they were belittling other options, or like shutting them up because shutting the other options down because there's a standard that a kid had to meet, versus allowing that kid, whatever it was, empower him and grow him, which is tough. I get it though, because as I started coaching, it was like it's really really hard. Let's say even for me, we're just 8 kids and trying to grow them and make them go their own path and teach them something that like tricking, and it's like, no, it's about what you want to do, it's your own style, and then have tried them to develop all their own little styles and stuff like that. What the hell was I talking about? How did I get on that? No, there was something I was trying to bring it back to, but and then it's getting late.
Yeah, it's 1.
Holy moly.
OT. Well, do you have any final words? You can always book another thing with me, and we just kick it and talk whenever.
Are those now?
No, these were earlier. Oh damn, I missed a lot.
Whoa, they went in.
I only saw the communities. Okay, Corkscrew, Tavi, 5:30 a.m. comes quick. Night, guys. Whoa. I didn't see any of this. I didn't even know how long Joanne stayed for. Jamie, night, Joanne. Much love. What's up? Love you, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Vulnerability is powerful if used correctly. When he got to that shit was lit. The word is Super Saiyan. Oh, maybe struggle. You should start making flipping montages. And then he came back. Oh, Jamie's still here. Oh, okay. Yeah, we missed all of that. And then this Twitch has just been quiet, but people are like straight up just watching. Like it's been at like 4 or 5 the whole time. But I think that's dope. I like that there's people that just like fuck with just listening.
I like that too.
Yeah, so we're gonna call it a night. Definitely have you on again, because it's just talking. I love talking to you and checking in. And you're someone that like, there's very specific people that there's certain things, like one of the people I talked to, like Chris, is like someone who's just ready to build, and he's like, full time doing what he's doing that he loves to do. And it's like, you're also someone like the ideas are there, and you want to tackle, like, you take the internet stuff seriously. I take it very, very, very seriously. I make money off of it. So it's like, if you want to do the same thing, it's like, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? It's so much easier when you come up with a team. I always say that too. Like when people stream and stuff, like you raid each other, you host each other. It's so much, and then you'd be like, oh, like go watch, like you're just telling each other, all of your homies to watch each other's streams, and then we're all on the same platform and we're killing it. It's like there's power in numbers, especially if everyone's dope. So like,
oh, I see.
Yeah, it's like super true, because like the same people that followed Jeff are the same people that follow me, and vice versa. We are part of the same community. We have different communities, and we always reference each other, and so we build that way. I have a great reputation because of him, and vice versa. So it's just when the person's ready, and then you get into the mindset and stuff, So like he started doing Twitch and stuff, and like he became an affiliate recently, and that was his goal. He was trying to do it in a month, and I was like, bro, like you're gonna be way more successful than me on Twitch, to be honest. He is too. His viewership is way better than mine. He gets he always averages like between, his lowest really is like 7. Lowest, like he'll stay around 7, but he's always like between 10, 12, and 15. And it's just because of who he is. Like he's entertaining, he's smart about stuff, and I'm at 85 followers. He recently hit 50 something. Huge milestone for him.